Ms. Hutchinson, I want to continue the conversation you and I had 2 weeks ago, and hopefully you have a little bit of an update on some of the issues we talked about. This is the issue on CDL testing, particularly for rural states that don't have a lot of continuous freeways that need the testing, like mine, like my state. So do you have an update on both the CDL testing and the CDL training issue that we talked about? You know, we're facing this significant shortfall in terms of drivers, and we want to get them anywhere. Of course, we want safety, but I think when you and I talked about this, there's ways to do it, to be able to train people in rural areas that don't necessarily fit the national testing standard that assumes you can have a freeway that's more than 10 miles or things like that. We don't have a lot in my state.
Senator, thanks for following up on these issues that we talked about in your office, and I appreciated the opportunity to talk with you then. And I understand the uniqueness of Alaska for both the CDLs, issuance of CDLs, and the training. We are continuing to look into both issues to work towards expeditious solutions. This is a really important issue. We want to ensure that Alaskan drivers are receiving safe training, especially given the unique circumstances in the state of Alaska. And I look forward to communicating more back with you soon.
Good. So can I get your commitment on those the way we did in my office, just both on the testing and training? I think our DMV and working with you guys, we have ideas on how to make sure we do it safely, and but also to fit the unique requirements, particularly as it relates to entry and exit, controlled access on highways and things like that, that again become very challenging and then enormously expensive if you got to fly 1,000 miles, and we do have places in Alaska that are 1,000 miles from each other in rural communities to go to Anchorage or Fairbanks to be able to do that. So can I get your commitment again on that? It's really important to me, and I think it should be important to you guys, because we need drivers. We need them everywhere, every state in the country, including mine.
Senator, you have my commitment to work on these unique issues. I look forward to hearing more ideas from you as you have them, and we'll be bringing ideas to you as well. And you do have my commitment to work expeditiously on this. Thank you so much.
Good. Okay, Mr. Morgan, I want to talk to you a little bit about oceans and marine resources. My state, we like to refer to Alaska as the superpower of seafood. Over 66% of all seafood harvested in America comes from Alaska, 2/3 for the whole country. And we also are very focused on making sure we have clean, sustainable oceans. Senator Sheldon Whitehouse and I have been the leads in the Senate the last couple Congresses on the Save Our Seas Act and Save Our Seas 2.0, which in part came out of this committee and other committees, but very comprehensive, actually most comprehensive ocean cleanup legislation ever to come out of Congress, and that was a very bipartisan effort. So can I get your commitment to supporting our seafood industry and fishermen through improved monitoring and an understanding of the key issues happening in our oceans without resorting to wanting to shut down, fishing? We have a council process that Chair and I are very familiar with in terms of the Magnuson-Stevens Act, named after a great Washington state and Alaska state senators, that has that power. And, we consider our fishery in Alaska, which includes Washington, probably the best managed fishery in the world. So we have a lot of good things we go on database, but we're going to need your help on monitoring and data. So do you have a view on that and commit to me on those important issues for my constituents, but really for the whole country and the whole world in terms of our oceans?
Yes, Senator, you have my commitment to work with you and other members of Congress on ensuring that NOAA is providing the appropriate monitoring of the oceans for fish stock and for just understanding the ecosystem condition.
And it's got to be database, as you know.
That's certainly the case.
And Madam Chair, if I may, just one final question. It deals with weather reporting capability. We have about 3% Alaska of the weather reporting capability, the rest of the lower 48. But as you know, we're a huge state, and we have all kinds of weather that impacts our ability to move, particularly in terms of aviation and air carriers. We have a serious data gap as it relates to terminal air forecasts in different parts of our state, even though the Weather Service, National Weather Service, is responsible for providing this. We often have to pay contractors for their own weather data, which I think should be a function of the federal government. It's a huge safety issue for my constituents. Fortunately, we have the highest rates of airplane crashes and fatalities in Alaska for these reasons and other reasons. A lot of Alaskans fly because we don't have roads to over 200 communities. Can you commit to me, if confirmed, to work with me on addressing this weather data gap that is a really important issue for my constituents and literally goes to the safety of so many Alaskans? And tourists, by the way, who come up in the summer. We got about 1.5 million coming up to my state this summer.
Right. Yes, Senator, you have my commitment that I will work with you on understanding and trying to provide action on the weather data gap that you've described.